course, your team and their opponents. Let's respect each other and respect the game. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a nation with freedoms like no other. To celebrate those freedoms, we ask that you please stand, remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Tonight's officials have been selected in accordance with the procedures adopted by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Please let us welcome and thank Don Baumstart and Doug Billerman for being a part of tonight's match. And now let's meet the teams. First for our guests, the Ottawa Glandorf Titans. They are coached by Michelle Mag, along with assistants Grace Van Cotter, Caitlin Recker, and Emily Horseman. The starters for the Titans tonight are number 4, Carson Erford. Number 6, Delaney Booling. Number 7, Riley Brinkman. Number 8, Emma Herringhouse. Number 11, Elena Klass. Number 14, Bree Record. Number 15, Miley Backrath. Number 16, Savannah Record. Number 17, Reagan Langhouse. Number 18, Liv Grovehouse. And then in the goal tonight for the Lady Titans, number 1, Libby Neese. And now, let's meet tonight's starters for the Lady Riders. The Lady Riders are coached by Nick Wilson, along with Ashley Petruski, Lily Ankerman, and Emma Burt. The starters this evening are number 2, Jillian Jacobs. Number 5, Allison Ankerman. Number 7, Sophia Maker. Number 8, Lauren Jacobs. Number 12, Aubrey Burt. Number 16, Layla Ermsher. Number 17, Kendall Davis. Number 21, Piper Triplett. Number 26, Claire Turner. And number 38, Eliana Weigel. In between the posts tonight for the Lady Riders, number 3, Bella Hertenstein. We want to wish both teams the best of luck, and we want to welcome you to Rough Rider Field for today's match between the Lady Riders and the OG Lady Titans.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lance Ibrahim and Seth Hertenstein, and we are live at Rough Rider Field for another broadcast from Rider Nation Station, where we have got the Lady Riders hosting the OG Titans, and it's going to be quite a matchup tonight. The Titans coming into this are 7-3 overall, 4-0 in the WBL, and the Rough Riders are 4-3-2 overall, 2-1-1 in the WBL. And as always, we can expect a very intense, high-energy matchup. So as this match gets started, Seth, talk a little bit about what we can expect tonight.
OGs always brings physicality, that's for sure. With any WBO matchup, you're going to find some physical play, but OG, I think there's something in the water up there. big, strong, athletic girls, and they're definitely going to be physical in this game. They're going to bring it up another notch more than anybody else.
So the Lady Titans come into this game 34 games in a row wins in the WBL, and the record being 39. I'm sure they'd like to chase that record, and I'm sure the Lady Riders would like to spoil that for them tonight. And if they do, if the Lady Riders do that, it sets them up for a great second half of the season, probably a lot of momentum that'll carry them through.
Yeah, absolutely. The Riders have been looking to find they've been having some good games, beating the Salina Bulldogs the other night. Tie-in, Walpock, that's always a good game, but they just can't find their rhythm. They're up and down, up and down. Hopefully tonight they can get on a good path here, and that can give them some momentum for the rest of the season.
So as the action starts, we got the ball on the near side here, and we had our first throw in a moment ago from the Titans, and the Riders dropping it deep into the Titans' territory over the end line, and we've got a goal kick coming up for the Titans. And you mentioned physical game, physical in nature. I think we see that a lot. We call it WBL soccer. You're going to see a lot of hips to hips, shoulder to shoulder. Referees will determine if it's safe contact or not, and we'll talk about that throughout the game, what we think a foul should be versus what it might be called as.
Yeah, hopefully we get some good refereeing tonight. We do have 2 Salina referees, so we never know how they're going to treat us here.
They all get paid the same though, right? Yeah, we have a big advantage tonight on our broadcast with Seth Hertenstein here, longtime coach, and is refereed a lot of soccer, so he's going to help us out with some of the calls that we see tonight. So the Titans have a nice run deep into Rough Rider territory with a centering pass. We'll talk about the style of attack that the Lady Titans take, and right now it's outside in, and looks like Hertenstein's going to bat that away. That goes over the end line, and that's going to be the first corner kick coming up. And as we set up for that corner, Seth, we've talked about it before, and we'll talk about tonight. Do the Titans take an outside-in approach like they just did, or a through ball, or will they mix it up throughout the night?
Yeah, something to watch on that build-up there. When they went to the outside, the Riders did not have anybody in the middle on top of the box, and OG had a couple players. Very dangerous situation if they were to pop that up to the top, so something to watch for the next couple plays as they build up.
Here comes their first corner by Dooling, and Hertenstein comes out, gets it. And she kind of does the same thing again as you just mentioned. She was on her own on that last one. She batted it out. That's fine. But it turns into a corner and now another corner, which we've already seen. That first one really gets into about, a yard off the frame, and that's a good spot for a corner. And she's doing it again.
The smart thing would be to get a man on the white player that is on our goalie. We don't want him to just be able to get in front of our goalie and cause some problems.
Well, and you've taught your players on a corner kick, set up on the keeper. Exactly. Put your shirt in her shirt, right? And then you want our backs, our defenders, to move that player out of there.
Yeah. Bella did the right thing there, swatting those balls away. It'd be nice for defense, gave her a little bit of protection, kind of push that girl away legally, but push her away.
Yeah, I think you use your hips, you don't use your hands, don't extend your arms, and you just kind of make her position better for you and let her know you're there, right?
Yeah, you want to let the goalie only worry about the ball, not have to worry about a man as well.
I know I've said it, I've heard you say it. Introduce yourself to the other player in a whatever way you'd like to, right? I want to know what flavor gum she's chewing by the end of the night.
Yeah, often I I ask my players, hey, I want to know what their favorite color is, or I want to know what they had for dinner. Yeah. Something make them laugh, but also let them know, hey, I'm serious.
Yeah, you need to get hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder in this game, right? Riders were working the full side there, the far side there, and Weigel had that first touch, went out of bounds. OG had another throw, and Weigel takes over on the far side, building to Menker, and still building. OG takes it away about midfield.
Got a lot of room over here on the left.
Yeah, you notice a lot of spacing over here.
See what kind of speed they have. Back, so that's dangerous.
That is dangerous stuff. So we noticed our back really kept number 6, Dueling, from breaking that corner, from getting around the corner until it got very deep, and then she kind of let up. And it wasn't going to be a shot on goal. We all knew that. But the problem is she centers it up to the dot or the first line there, and there were 2 OG players that were very dangerous in that situation.
Yeah, our defenders need to be on goal side of that. On that play, they were on the back side, so it gave OG the advantage to get the shot off without really much contention.
And I'm sure, again, Coach Wilson's teaching his players this, you're telling them this. if you can read the big number on their back, you do not have them covered.
Yep.
So we had our first penalty of the game, infraction against OG, and results in a direct kick for the Lady Riders, and that direct's going to be taken by Jacobs, meaning she can put it into the net from here if possible, but it's a pretty far kick, so she's going to put it on feet, and the Riders are working the middle of the field now. OG backs, clear it to the center of the field. Hopefully that'll turn into a turnover, and it does. And now Jacobs works the far side looking for feet.
I think both teams are trying to play a little possession. Both teams are giving up bad touches, not really being able to keep it. OG seems to be wanting to spray the ball wide, and they have been successful at that a few times. But
yeah, that's a great point, Seth. We have a nice full-size field here in St. Mary's, and OG is clearly taking advantage of that. Looks like that ball was deflected, and OG throw in on the near side. Yeah, so far we've seen really nice spread. I mean, we're at 60 yards wide here, and they're using every bit of it. OG working the near side. Rough Riders do have good numbers on this one. The deflection goes, fortunately, over the end line and turns into a goal kick for the Rough Riders. So we haven't seen a through ball attempt yet from the Titans. Again, they'll probably mix it up, but we've seen a lot of spread and a lot of outside in, and I'd say right now it's working for them. They've had some opportunities through that.
Yeah, and so far I've noticed 50-50 balls from OG. They've been dominating those, and that's always one of those pet peeves of mine for any of my teams. That's most of the time 50-50 balls are a choice. It's I want the ball more than you.
Who wants it most? And Seth, what is a 50-50 ball? What does that mean?
Basically a ball in the middle of the field, side of the field, anywhere in the field where you have an equal chance as your opponent, and they get the ball more often than you. It stops being a 50-50 ball.
Yeah, 80-20 would be bad. So 50-50 is anybody's ball, maybe a big punt from the keeper, a header, or a long pass.
Yep.
And who wants it most?
Yeah, exactly. That's usually who wins the ball. Right now, OG wants it a little bit more. Aubrey Bird up top there at striker position for the Riders. She seems to be really wanting those 50-50s. But otherwise, in the midfield, the Riders are getting beat on those.
First substitutions of the game coming in now for the Rough Riders. Number 10, Walls, and number 29, Anderson, enters the game. And Coach Wilson does have a tendency to sub fairly early like this. Most teams, I think, you don't see it till about 10 or 15 minutes in, but I think we've seen this a couple times, Seth. Around 8 minutes, 7-8 minutes, he wants to see a different look and some fresh legs. Dueling working the near side again, and Rough Riders clear it back out. Looks like it'll go over the end line for a goal kick for the Rough Riders again. So far we're working a lot on our end of the field, which we don't like. We like to get it on their end of the field, and when it has been on their end of the field, it hasn't really been in a lot of control, to your point.
Yeah, it's been a long ball into space, hoping Burt runs onto it, gets a piece. Something to watch, number 4 for OG, Erford. A lot of teams we see the striker run through and try to get those through balls. You mentioned before, we haven't really seen that through ball through the middle. She's checking back, and she's trying to get the ball at her feet, and she's trying to distribute and help build up play. It's something I love to see from my strikers. We'll see if she continues that. Maybe she baits the defense into stepping up, and then somebody else runs through that space.
And then takes a through ball. That's a really great point. That's very complex what you just talked about. As somebody that we expect up front here to be scoring goals is coming back into more of a quarterback field general position and distributing the ball. I think if you watch the men's game, think Rowan Verbeek.
Yeah.
That's kind of his job. He can strike, but he's working about 2/3 field, and you're pointing out that that for the Titans, that's what you're seeing right now. One thing to note for the Titans during that last throw-in, they did have a sub, and Kuhlman, number 3, came in for the Titans, and she's actually working the near side for us right now.
A lot of times you'll see that kind of play from a striker because of lack of speed. I'm not sure if that's the case here. It could just be she's waiting for the right moment. We'll see. Haven't seen her test out her speed yet.
We got a near side throw in for the Rough Riders. Looks like Anderson with the throw in. And yeah, it's interesting. We'll see if she tries to go through the line with speed for the through ball, or she's baiting them, as you're saying, baiting them a little bit on sides to see if they'll come back for that drop to the mids, and then she breaks through the line right as the ball is touched. I think it's a great idea if that's what's worked for them.
Got some numbers on the backside here, popping right Ooh, all right.
First ball went into triplet, and now shot way over the top of the frame, but still another look for the Titans, and that's what we don't want. We like to keep our keepers bored. Hertenstein is anything but bored right now, and she's under heavy fire, which it's okay because we're doing great so far, but all it takes is one to sneak through. It's time for us to figure out a way to get that ball across midline and start to get some kind of pressure on OG's backs.
Yeah, the Riders got to be careful on those balls to the outside. A lot of ball watching going on. Open OG players, handball there. Okay, yep. Possible wide open player always on the top or the backside that the Riders are missing because they're staring at the ball. They need to turn their body so they can see more of the field. Hopefully that doesn't get them caught before they figure it out.
So here's Earford that you were just speaking of a moment ago, and she's going to take the handling call. Restart. Direct or indirect on the handling call, Seth?
Direct.
So the referee signified that by putting his arm straight out towards the direction the ball is going to go. If the referee puts his or her hand straight up in the air, that's going to be an indirect. And the difference is direct, you can kick it straight into the net without it touching anybody, and an indirect has to deflect off of your player or one of their players. And Erford she's got a cannon. We had a great view of it. She took a hard hit on that. Nobody from OG was able to get to that ball, fortunately, as it went wide of the frame.
Yeah, it looked like a definite pass instead of a shot. Maybe some respect for the goalkeeper. That's good to hear. Hopefully that was a respect thing.
Yeah, that's a great point. Or she just missed. I'm not sure. Early in the game she just missed. So we got a handful of Rough Riders return to the game. I've got Helko coming in. I've got Anchorman returning to the game. And Ludicky entering the game for the Rough Riders. I probably missed at least one there. And a couple of Titans come into the game as well. Working the near side here. And again, Titans get away with, two defenders get away with getting that ball to the middle of the field for them.
Long shot there. Bella's all over that. No problem.
Yeah, it was just outside the frame, but I like the shot because if the keeper's up out of there, Bella's got great hands and she's tall, she can jump, but a shot like that can catch a keeper off guard if she's up a little bit, and that was a pop shot over the top. We've seen it. The goalie's backpedaling, and you can get one just over the hands of the keeper on that. So far, Seth, Titans are working the near side more than anything. Haven't seen a through ball attempt yet, and mostly working our side of the field.
Yeah, not a lot of creativity from OG. Curious to see, with the record they have, with the goals they've scored, the games they've won. I'd like to think there's more to it than this so far in their game. They haven't shown a whole lot. However, the Riders have opened up the door a couple times, so maybe they're just more clinical with their finishes on a typical day.
I guess if it works for them, you just keep trying it, right? Yep. And so far, it has been a centering ball many times. Riders are challenging here and take over. Pass up to Menker. She's working the midfield there. Just a little deflection off OG, and it changed the direction that fast.
They are trying to build up, but they are having a hard time getting it even to half without playing a long ball.
On that last throw-in, 13 Ellerbrock checked in for the Titans. We got a throw-in coming up for the Titans. Looks like it'll be taken by Grotehouse. And no offsides on the throw-in, right, Seth? So the attackers can set up anywhere they want. OG was looking for an outside in, except for on the far side this time. Turns into another throw-in. And we've got, I think, Grotehouse again with the throw-in. We've seen some big throw-ins the last couple games, and it doesn't look like Titans have that kind of throw-in to put that into what would be a corner situation. Just finding feet with that ball.
Yeah, the Riders will be pleased to know that throw-ins are not corner kicks tonight. So,
which we saw at our last broadcast. You think I remember her name because I said it 2,000 times. Olberding, I think.
Yep.
She threw for 800 yards that game, I think is what we figured. I think the other player I might have missed checked in for the Rough Riders, number 15, Liette, the junior in as a back.
Something to note for maybe later in the game here, Anchorman on this side nearest to us, the right side, is pushing up to try to get involved in the offense, and oftentimes that means she's leaving her man behind. OG hasn't caught it yet for a quick switch. We'll see if they recognize it, see if they try to play it. Anchorman's been busting her butt to get back to cover it, but there is a couple seconds of opportunity there for OG if they catch it.
We haven't seen an offside yet. Our line is doing a great job of really keeping them, but OG's very disciplined from what I can see so far. And we haven't seen a through ball really to worry about that.
Yeah.
At that last throw-in, we had another Rough Rider check into the game, number 35, Braylon Baker, the freshman, who's just returning to the lineup from a little time off due to an injury. So good to see her on the field, especially at this level game, this early in this level of a game. A lot of confidence in that young lady from Coach Wilson.
Riders again struggling with possession. Well, something to watch. When the Riders get the ball, I want you to look around how many of their teammates are making themselves available. How many options
moving without
do
the
they
ball.
have? Yes, moving off the ball to make a good, easy opportunity for the teammate. And that's really how you get your team to keep possession. It can't just be one player swatting the ball out of the air with their arm, unfortunate. But something to watch to see how many girls are working for the ball.
We got a replay of that handling call a moment ago, and you'll see that it could be inadvertent. Looked like a little chicken wing there, called against Anchorman on that one, and the referee determined that the hand was in an unnatural position. So OG's gone outside in, Seth, many times, and now there's a new one. They've done it 3 times now, over the top, and see if maybe their forwards, Erfurt or others, could get in there fast enough, or maybe Hertenstein bats it down, gives them a chance. Hasn't worked yet again, but another form of attack that we've seen
kicks,
now.
All their free kicks have been long balls through the middle. Not a whole lot of creativity there. Again, I'm still curious to know how they're playing so well. Again, see if they bring anything else, but if this is their creativity, the Riders definitely stand a chance tonight. They're not doing anything crazy here that's hard to defend.
Now, I know we're talking about many seasons here of their 34 straight WBL wins, but in those 34 wins, they've outscored their opponents 216-5. Extremely stingy on the goal side, and one of the 5 came from the Rough Riders, from the Lady Riders, in a loss, but at least they put one on the board against the Titans.
Yep, the Lady Riders always play OG tough, always have, always will, I'm sure. It's, again, one of those rivalry games, just like Salina, just like Walpock. It's hard to see a blowout in any of those 3 games.
It's always going to be tough. We had another check-in for the Titans entering the game, number 22, Dueling, and throw in Titans. That one looks like it bounced off of Baker on the far side. It'll be result in another throw for the Titans. So no offside so far. A couple of corners down on our end. We need to get the ball to the other end, give ourselves a chance at some corner kicks at least, or some looks at the keeper at least.
Like to see the Riders push up high here, try to lock the OG back there in their own third. A little bit slow to get up, big gap in the midfield. Luckily, OG did play it out so we can get the ball back, but I'd really like to see the Riders push up there, try to close out that space, not let OG get the ball back and send another ball to the outside or over the top.
In the few times that the Riders have gotten the ball past midfield, there's only been one lone attacker against 3 or 4, even 5 backs, so there's really nowhere that she's going to go. It's just running into a wall of white jerseys back there.
Yeah, again, 4 checking back to the ball, collecting it, holding it up, and distributing for OG to try to build up.
Seth, you mentioned a moment ago about being available for a pass, and I've heard you say it, I've said as well, present yourself. If you cannot see the player with the ball, she can't see you either, and you've got to be – and the best pass would be a motion. You don't want to sit still. If you sit still and the ball's coming to you, OG's going to jump the pass, so it's got to be in motion.
And a little, and you know, players will say this and notice this, but when somebody's moving, they also catch your eye. Mm-hmm. If something's standing, you know that you might not really see it. There's so many things on the field. It's kind of hard to see everything, but if you see somebody moving, that's really going to catch your eye, and so that's an easy target to find.
That's a great point. Yeah, and hopefully your eyes are up as you're dealing with the ball and trying to find feet. So we'll see if the Lady Riders change it up here. Coming up on 20 minutes left in the first half, and so far we've seen OG really in control of the ball on our end of the field, getting the shots on goal, getting the corners, putting pressure on the Riders' backs and on their keeper. And so far, I don't think that the OG keeper has touched the ball, so we got to make a change here and get down there and make sure she gets into part of this game.
Yeah, she was sitting down earlier. I think she was having a little meditation moment. I think she's bored back there for sure.
Now, one thing you got to watch when that happens, and you've seen it, the goalie can lose concentration after 20, 30 minutes of standing there. I mean, these are not professional players. You've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. Next thing you look over, and they're a little bit asleep. And sometimes you can take advantage of that.
Yeah, this is one of those games in the youth leagues where you're subbing out your keeper about every 5 minutes, making every single kid play because there's a good chance they're not touching the ball. If you keep one kid back there for the whole entire half and they don't touch the ball, you're asking for trouble. They're probably going to be doing something back there they shouldn't be.
Well, and if you drop it to your keeper, get a little bounce on the field, they're a little bit cold. 20 minutes of standing there, 25 minutes. You're right. There's a little bit of risk there. So I'm guessing with 5 goals given up and 34 straight WBL wins, their keepers are used to finding ways to keep themselves busy.
Yep. All right, the Riders got it deep down into OG territory. Let's see if we can keep it. I want you to watch off the ball. Let's see what kind of movement we can get when we have it at our feet. We got to get the ball at our feet first.
That's a great point. We have a multi-camera crew here that can really help, and you can catch some of the off-the-ball action. So we've got our first corner coming up for the Rough Riders. That's a great chance for them. All it takes is one here, and it looks like Turner is going to take the corner on the far side, and looks like it's going to be a long corner, which means she's going to try to put it somewhere near the net in front of the frame. And
good opportunity, ball on the ground. All you got to do is get a lucky one.
Yeah, we had chaos, which is what you want. Keep the chaos going. And any kind of through ball here can do it.
Corner again.
Well, we got another deflection for another corner. So this is what we've been waiting for, Seth. Change it up a little bit. Get the ball down on the Titans' end and see what happens. So we got another corner coming up. This time it's going to be on the near side for us, and it's going to be taken by number 7, Menker. And she's going to come in with the left foot there, and her job probably is to try to bend that ball as close to the frame as possible.
Another good ball in.
She does it for a nice. That's a nice header ball for either team, 50-50, as you said before. And let's see if the Riders can keep the pressure on here. Good contact there to keep control of the ball, and Menker's working towards the middle of the field now.
Not a lot of options, just looking for that through ball. Dangerous ball, but not a whole lot of movement, not a whole lot of options there.
I'm not surprised that she did that. I think at that distance, still a little bit of chaos down there. She's got a cannon for a leg, so good hard hit. Never know where it'll deflect. Hey, at least we saw some life out of the attacking side.
Yeah.
It also tells the ladies that they can do this, that they have an attack. They don't just have to be on their heels the whole game. So Menker in the middle of the field takes over with the ball. Looking for Baker, didn't quite get it there, and we did talk about this. If you're not moving, you will not receive the pass.
She's onside, so we are good to go here. Let's see, backside, White has an open man, but they don't see her. They don't seem to be looking for that. That's one of my favorite passes to make in a game, but OG has not looked for it a single time. I really think their style is
outside to the middle.
Outside to the middle and cause chaos in that box and squeak out a couple ugly goals.
We can't argue that it hasn't worked for them. We know it has. Riders on a really nice run here. Burt down the near side looking for an opening to work around the corner. If she does, I would expect a centering pass, and here it comes. And the keeper comes out for the Titans and gets
another promising build up there for the Riders. Turner and Burt connecting there. Great little give and go. Love to see that kind of combination. Handball there. Thank you, sir.
Inadvertent as it may be, the arm may have been in an unnatural position, maybe straight out from the body, and the Riders get this one, and we have a direct kick coming up for the Rough Riders. Yeah, and we cannot understate that last run was made by a freshman.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the hard work, you can just see it. You can just see how much she wants the ball, how much she wants to be on this field. Hopefully that's something that the rest of the Riders can really pick up on and help energize them, especially in a game where so far they've been kind of overmatched. These last couple minutes we've been doing all right, hanging in there, definitely getting some chances, but early on OG has dominated.
Now we have a handful of Riders coming in and a few Titans coming into the game. I think Weigel's re-entering the game. Liett's back in the game. Anchorman, I think, has just returned.
And Davis as well.
And Kendall Davis as well. So what does that do for your team if you've got freshmen on the field producing opportunities against a team like OG?
Yeah,
that sets you up for the future, right?
Well, that last 5 minutes with the Riders creating all those chances, guess how many freshmen were on that field? 3. All 3 of them involved.
Can I guess 3?
Yeah, and they just got subbed out for some veterans here, so it'll be up to the veterans to match that. That's one of those things in all of sports. You're not performing, you're not doing your job. there's somebody there ready to take it, and these freshmen are hungry. They want it. I remember being a freshman. It was everything to me to try to get on that varsity field. I scratched and clawed, and I'm sure these girls are doing the same. You gotta remember that as an upperclassman. It's not just given to you. You got to earn it every single day.
Well, and if you don't want it, as you said, there's a line of ladies that are ready to go, and if they're freshmen, they have everything to prove and nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
I would imagine you're probably standing in your coach's pocket the whole time, reminding him that you'd like to get into the game. I could just picture it now.
Oh, yeah.
So the Riders are working the far side here. We are seeing a little bit better possession. You do see some movement off the ball. That's a takeaway by the Titans, but at least we did see some movement as Menker was working the ball. And here comes the Titans with their outside-in approach into the hands of Hertenstein. And what did you see there? Hertenstein did a great job, but that bounce before it gets to the keeper, that's dangerous.
Absolutely.
And you can seal the player off to some extent, but if you pick the player or make a wall, you could get a call in the box on that. So you have to let them slip as you're going towards the ball somewhat.
Yeah,
somewhat.
In that case, you'll get an obstruction call, which 9 times out of 10 would be indirect. Now, if you make hard contact, they will just call it a direct foul and give a PK. But so an indirect foul in the box isn't completely terrible, but you don't want to risk too much contact.
It's better than a PK.
Yes, exactly.
But it's still not great to have a 5 or 6 yard indirect.
Long ball from OG there. Nobody up there to run onto it. Definitely a different style than what we've seen so far this year with the Lady Rider games.
I don't know if that was a mistake by the Titans. I can't tell because they mix it up so much. I love that they mix it up. You really should. You've said it. Give them a different look. Try a different look. Do that with your goal kicks. Throw-ins, a little different look. Their attack, that might have been a mistake because that was one of the few that they just gave it to Hertenstein. Riders working the near side here, getting into Titan territory. Anchorman with the throw-in. Deep to Turner. Working right in the corner of the field. And last touch should be off OG. We've got another throw-in coming up. Turner with the throw-in. And she's going to find feet here. And what feet does she find? Menker, of course. Very sure-footed. And partial shot, partial pass, maybe looking for a deflection wide of the frame.
Yeah, she did have Weigel on the backside there. Tough ball to find, though. Definitely could have used, in my opinion, somebody giving her a drop option. And that's a ball you kind of lay off into space as a drop, and somebody can rip a shot.
Middle of the field, space is good. And Menker could have a choice here, either try to bend it, which she certainly can, the upper 90 left, or take a little bit off of that and see if it gives a player time to get in there and get a header on the ball.
Another long ball from OG there. Not really a whole lot there for him, but they do have some speed on that side. Riders got to be a little careful if they time that up a little better.
Seth, I don't know if they did that on purpose, but they put that one ball outside the box, one ball width outside the box. That's quite a pass. Because Hertenstein really should not come out and get it if it's just outside the box like that. Not with the pressure that OG's got on the keeper. Here's that outside in to the center, not switching the field that you were looking for and would prefer, but outside into the middle again. And last touch off of Rough Riders, throw in for Dooling. And that one went off of Titans. We got a throw in for Rough Riders. Not a great spot for a throw in, but nevertheless we got one. So return of the game, we got Halko coming back in, Burt coming back into the game, Baker coming back in, and also Ludicky return of the game for the Rough Riders.
Rider defense is making me a little nervous here, Lance. On that last play, our center back was off the ball, or off their man, watching the ball, and once again, not as high as you would normally see a striker, and that's probably why our defense isn't really picking up on it. She checked back to the top of the box, almost really the arch area, and she's looking for that ball to get it at her feet, and she's probably going to do something dangerous if we leave her with that much space.
Now I'm assuming Riders hopefully had access to films, or at least have seen enough to understand that is a dangerous move that Erford's going to do, and you said it. She comes right up to the top of the arc. She comes out of the line. No chance of an offsides, but what do the backs expect? They expect her to be shoulder to shoulder, or at least right at the edge of the shoulder of the defense.
Yep, and that's one of those where if the center back's not picking it up, it needs to be a defensive midfielder. But it's not getting done so far.
Or at least talking.
Yeah.
At least talking.
4 does a great job getting a hold of that ball and just settling.
Between 3 defenders.
Yes, that's my favorite thing from a striker. Most people want their striker to score goals. No, I want my striker to be able to hold the ball, because when your team is really struggling to get out of get it out of their end, you really want that striker just to be able to hold the ball for 5 seconds, get your team up, get them out, and keep a little bit of attack.
Give some time for somebody else to catch up to your attack.
Yeah.
Riders working the far side again. Very nice passing, a little bit better than we saw early in the game. That was Manker to Baker. Baker deflects it off a Titan player. We got a throw in Rough Riders to the feet of Manker again. And that's a typical throw, and we see a lot of times going to the sure feet of Manker. And last touch again off the Titans. Creates another throw-in for the Riders. Before the throw-in, number 10, Walls, returned into the game. And number 29, Anderson. And it was Weigel with the ball for the throw-in, but I think, Weigel's coming out of the game, so we've got somebody else throwing in on the far
Jacobs,
side.
I think.
Jacobs with the throw-in. Different techniques for the throw-in. We've talked about those in the past. Do you just try to get over everybody? Do you find feet? Rough Riders typically try to find feet towards the direction of the other goal.
Yeah. With my youth teams, I don't trust some of the skill, so we just go forward down the line,
down the side
every time. I remember Coach Dave Ring making us always do that. And I always thought, well, there's so many other things we can do, Coach. And now as a coach myself, it's like, let's just be safe.
It's too much of a heart attack ball when you pass it back to a defender. Usually they have strong legs, but maybe not the best foot skills. That's a heart attack special when you pass it towards your own goal.
Takes one little mistake for them to counterattack and get a goal-scoring opportunity.
And, of course, at this level, they're trying to find feet. Everybody on here's got foot skills. Everybody on here's got speed and ability. And here's another example of a throw-in. And what we're looking for here is try to get to feet. We've talked about this before as well. A throw-in's a free pass. Should be somewhat of an uncontested pass if you hit a player moving. And we get another one down the line off the Titans' head. We're going to get another one. Another throw-in. We're basically getting free yards here. Ludicky is moving the field down here 10, 20, 30 yards uncontested on those throw-ins. And now Manker's working just the top corner of the box. Expect a hit here, and it comes.
Ooh, potential
back to the center of the field. It was close. Maybe deemed inadvertent or natural position. Now we have a Titan player running down the near side, and it goes out of bounds. Now with the player out, the Rough Riders could move quickly here. And I don't know why they weren't able to. We had Titans ran a player all the way off the field. It could have been a nice little advantage for a moment. For whatever reason, I think there was a second ball on the field and created a pause in the game. Rough Riders looking for another opportunity here.
Not a lot of options for Jacobs.
Not options, as you talked about. This is not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea if we can get a little spacing. And now Walls goes to work on the far side. And we got 2 freshmen working closely together on the ball. Nice contact. You saw what I saw there, Seth. Certainly a smaller freshman player putting a body into a more experienced Titan, and we need to see that. You've got to have people that are willing to not hurt themselves or anybody else, but definitely put a body on a player.
Yep, not a foul, straight up, shoulder to shoulder, didn't dip her shoulder, didn't lean in, anything like that, just made her presence known, and she's going to constantly remind the OG players that, hey, I'm going to work my butt off up here. You better get rid of that ball quick. And the idea for that is if we pressure the ball, it's harder for them to find a pass and maintain
possession. They can make a mistake. Any kind of pressure, they can make a mistake. You think that other player knew that was a freshman coming at her? You're darn right she did. And she's probably going to remind her of that as well. And Baker's going to go right after again, given the opportunity. So now we got another. This is a good example where you're talking about. Put a little pressure on the player. Mistake happens. Now Riders get a throw in. Manker seals that throw in very nicely. That's a tiny little move there from an experienced player, and it allows her to keep running off a deep throw in.
I'm a little disappointed in how we're trying to attack here from the Riders side. Manker had a great turn, a great look at things, but we did not give her options. Nothing easy, at least.
You were talking about that time, a little bit of time on the foot to get other people to build up. She's pretty fast. If she's moving forward, the other players just have to catch up, or she's got to drop. She's got to give herself other options.
A little bit of inexperience from Baker up there, kind of making a run that's not going to be too helpful to Sophie there. Maybe a check back to the ball, kind of like OG's been doing all night. Would have been a better option for her, but something she can learn, something she can pick up in her game.
That turns into another corner for OG, and a really nice corner about a yard, maybe 2 yards off the frame, right where you want to put it, bending towards the frame. And the first first touch was off an OG head, which we do not want.
Yeah,
you want to get first touch on that ball.
That was a very dangerous corner kick, a nice floater. Plenty of time for the Riders to get something on the ball, at least get a body on, is it Erford there? Got to get something there. That is very dangerous. If the Riders do that again, I'm pretty much guaranteeing a goal for OG.
You even in that case, it was header out over the end line, but that easily could be header into the net.
Yeah, exactly.
Liette work in the middle of the field. Had good strength there, good move, and then just stopped by I think an OG midfielder, made a move like a back, and now OG pokes the ball through. I'd say for OG right now, that move right there was a little bit of a mistake. They put that in the box. You cannot do that with Hertenstein, and they know it. They're going to keep it outside the box and make Hertenstein come out and kick it, or try to roll it into the box, which she won't have a lot of time to do that.
Yeah, that was a great opportunity for OG, and they've done that a few times where they've really outplayed their attackers. They've played the ball way too long, not giving them a chance at the ball.
And it's certainly not because they have a bigger field than this. I mean, this is a great size field for open play like we've seen tonight. And we talked about it last game. Sometimes they're in a postage stamp size or a quarter of the field. And you look now, the ladies are using the entire half of this full-size field. And that's really great soccer to have that kind of spread.
Sophie Manker trying to find space to take a shot.
That's a shot on goal.
Yeah.
That's a
Weigel
shot
out
on
there
goal.
with the shot. Good-looking shot. Like to see it. Manker's looking for the same thing, but the OG's got the scouting report on her. They know not to give her an inch.
They're not going to give Manker an open shot like they did on Weigel, but that was a really nice shot off the foot of Weigel. And why not, right? I mean, she's a sophomore. She's got a strong leg. She's got the experience to take a shot like that, put it on frame, and that is a save. That is a save. It may not have been a heroic save, but it wasn't just a collection. That may have been our first shot on goal.
Yeah, we do have confirmation. Their goalie does have hands, folks. She does have hands.
And she maybe even could punt the ball if she had the chance sometime. So nice takeaway back here by Jacobs, looking to get the ball to the middle of the field, still into a tightened wall in the center of the field. It's like their feet are just wider, and their ability to move laterally is just better. Here's that pop-up ball.
That's
Don't
dangerous.
like this at all. Don't like it at all.
Bella plays it well. Makes me a little nervous, but she's a smarter goalie than me, so I'll trust her. OG, again, squanders a chance just with, I don't know if that was a shot, I'm assuming. Not a dangerous one. They had numbers up. They had an opportunities. They had a gap over here on the left side to their winger, and they didn't even
take
look.
advantage of it. Now, OG may have scored a ton of goals off of keepers with that one right there. So what do you like to do? You like to see your keeper come up and catch it out of the air, right? Don't let it hit the ground.
Anytime the ball bounces, especially in the box.
Bad things can happen.
What do you know about the box?
No grass.
In front of a goal mid-season.
No grass.
Yeah, it's going to be lumpy. It's going to be nasty in there. You don't want any of that. I remember one time one of my kids had a shot, was rolling right into the goal, nice little soft roller, and all of a sudden it hit something and it went off to the side of the goal. And that's what you get in the box in the middle of the season.
And it could happen the other way around. It could be outside and coming in. So really you prefer Hertenstein to go out there and catch it in the air. When she decided she couldn't, she backed up, and then she made a great move, came back and knocked it down right off the ground. Because the next chance is on this hard ground, it could bounce over her. Tough with the height of Hertenstein, but you've seen it happen to keepers. They come up forward, misjudge it, it bounces right over their head.
Yeah, the key is being careful with how far you attack that ball. If you know you can't get it out of the air, you don't want to get too close because then it goes off your shins. Mm-hmm. And then there's
right
a free
back
ball.
into play.
So like I said, I'm going to trust Bella with that. She made a smart play. It just looked a little dangerous to us, but I think she had it under control.
And I think the fact that OG has had many, many of those will tell you something. We've said it. Eventually, it's going to turn it. You keep putting that on the keeper. Eventually, it's going to turn into a goal. Fortunately, after 38 minutes, and we're almost done here with the first half, Rough Riders have been able to hold them off, and all it takes is one on either end to make a big difference in the game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they make any adjustments in the second half. Or if they continue to come out and do exactly the same thing. If they do, I'm good with that. If I'm Coach Wilson, I'm happy that they're just going to keep attacking the way they are. We at least know what's coming. It's not super dangerous as long as the Riders are winning the balls in the air. But we'll see. If I'm OG, I'm definitely going to try something different. But
you're going to have to, yeah, because Hertenstein's got a sure hand. The outside in didn't work, although it was there. It's just nobody hit the ball. And one thing Wilson's done for sure is he's moved fresh legs into the game, and he's going to have to, right? And that's probably one of the strategies. Make sure you can run along with them, put pressure, have them make mistakes and turnovers and not get good looks. It may not give us a great attack option, but at least it's keeping OG off our net.
Riders got some space here. Would like to see a little build up there.
There's that bounce that you're talking about. It's never safe. And a couple of riders coming in, maybe a little more time to gather. So we're under a minute left in the first half, 0-0 here at Rough Rider Field. And it's been quite a contest. If you're new to soccer, you might expect a lot out of goals, right? You really want goals. But if you've been around as long as we have, this is a great game with a lot of wins for both teams. Certainly the Riders have been on their heels a little bit more, but they've been able to hold them off so far for 39 and a half minutes.
Yep, I know it's usually a football saying, but I say the same thing with soccer. Defense wins championships. And the Riders had a shutout against Walpock the other night with two very dangerous players constantly attacking. And tonight the Riders are keeping the shutout so far. So definitely proud of the defense. I'm sure Coach Wilson is. So now we just got to generate one. All it takes is one goal.
All it takes is one. One outside in, one corner kick, even a run like this.
And we'll even take one right now.
10 seconds left in the half, and a good chance right there. Oh, my goodness, a centering ball. 8 seconds left in the half. That's what we were talking about. Put that in the back of the net. It changes your halftime speech and changes the rest of the game. So we saw that on the replay there, and I think that was Turner who came right up on the keeper. If she mishandled that at all, that was a great opportunity for us in the last second.
Yeah, great ball from the outside from our freshman Baker.
So we're going to break here for a little bit of work, and we got to pay off our sponsors. We'll be back here in just a little bit for the second half of Rough Riders hosting the Lady Titans.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.
You're watching Rough Riders Soccer, brought to you by these fine sponsors: Ace Cuts, Albert Sporting Goods, Uglaze Equipment Rental, Buffalo Wild Wing, Capability, Salina Cycle Center, Eagle Loan Company of Salina, Eagle 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Guarneri's Pub and Pizzeria, JT's Brew and Grill, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Plus One Professionals Real Estate, Rider Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes. You're watching Rough Riders Soccer, brought to you by these fine sponsors: Ace Cuts, Albert Sporting Goods, All Glaze Equipment Rental, Buffalo Wild Wing, Capability, Salina Cycle Center, Eagle Loan Company of Salina, Eagle 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Guarneri's Pub and Pizzeria, JT's Brew and Grill, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Plus One Professionals Real Estate, Writer Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Speeds Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to beautiful Rough Rider Field, where we have Our Lady Rough Riders hosting the OG Titans. This is Lance Ibrahim. Alongside of me is Seth Hertenstein. We saw 40 minutes of action, a lot of little bit of back and forth ball, a little bit of bungee ball. OG pretty much owned the first 5, 7, maybe up to 10 minutes, and then the Rough Riders settled into their game. And coming into 0-0 into the second half, a lot at stake here. Definitely more for the Titans than for the Riders. Seth, what do you expect in the second half?
Yeah, as I mentioned in the first half, the Riders have been pretty solid defensively all season, not giving up a goal to Walpock at all. Shutting them out with some dangerous attackers, and now they're shutting out OG. Pretty high-powered offense, and OG's probably starting to panic a little bit, to be honest with you. Now, they've been through this several times, they've won all these games, blah, 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 but a lot of those games have been easy, and the Riders aren't making it easy for them tonight. So we'll see if they panic a little bit. We'll see if they change anything up. You'll know if they're going right back to the exact same thing this half, then they're not panicking. They're just going to keep playing their game and hope that something good happens. We'll see. We'll see what kind of changes they make.
And so far, we've seen a couple different attacks from the Titans, mostly outside in early in the game, and then they tried not much of a through ball, more of an over-the-top, and see if they can get the keeper to mishandle it. In the meantime, the Rough Riders did get a couple of corner kicks, took late in the game, late in the first half, and right at the last second of the first half, Riders really had their best chance, probably for the OG's keeper's second real stop of the game, a real save of the game. Other than that, she did not touch the ball for a good 30 minutes, I think, in that first half. Now the Riders are going to have to put some pressure on, and as you've said many times, it only takes once.
Missed touch by OG here gives the Riders an opportunity, but we do not take advantage.
Now we got a throw-in coming up on the near side. Weigel with the throw-in, looking for the feet of Menker. She does connect her feet, and Titans just clear it out. Want to reset their defense. They are definitely outnumbered us on the defense right now, and the spread of the field, Seth, to me, we get a great view from up here. It looks almost mechanical in nature. It's like they marked a spot on the field, and they know right where to go to.
Yeah, you see that a lot in the professionals because they are paid millions of dollars, and they are definitely going to be in the right spots every single play of the game, or at least darn near. High school, you don't see that very often. We'll see how long they keep that shape. Great touch by Burt there to knock it to the outside. Dangerous ball in. Making that goalkeeper work. Might see a yellow card here. Nope. Luckily.
I think that was just momentum that carried to the keeper. And also the keeper, hopefully, I'm sure the referee's going to talk to the players. You notice that the keeper had her feet together and stood up. Anything would have knocked her over. I don't think anything was on deliberate, and the referee agreed with that. That was a nice run by the Riders, putting a little pressure on the Titans goalie. And now Weigel's working the near side here, looking for feet, finds the feet of Menker right in the middle of the field. Good control. That's that time to hold the ball that you talked about, Seth. Get your players a moment to build. And we still have control of the ball with a nice outside ball back to Weigel. A little bit of a bounce there. I don't believe in luck. It just happens in the game. We make things happen. Just bounce over the foot of Weigel and goes out of bounds, and the Titans take over. And Rough Riders have a stop. We have what looked like a handling call, just the referee didn't have a good angle. A 3-man crew there would have taken care of that right there.
That's right.
I think at this level, at this game, I'm sure you agree with me, need to have a 3-man crew.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do. I get it's hard to do. But in that case, good referee, he could not see the handling that we saw. And everybody else here seemed to see.
You can feel it right now. I don't know about you, Lance, but the tensions, the energy, everything's picked up a notch. Both teams really want an early goal, really want to take control of this game. You can hear it, you can see it, and I can certainly feel it.
Yeah, it's exponential compared to where the first half started. We're actually picking up kind of where it ended with the energy, and we have the advantage. We're standing right on top of the home field's dugout here, right? The bench, all the sub players, JV players are very loud, boisterous right underneath us. A nice centering pass from Menker. We did have a little bit of a look there at Turner, but the goalie's on our side, and where do you want to play around that? Back post. Onsides, back post, that would have been a finish probably, but it was still a great opportunity. So far, energy has been our way. Feet and the foot skills have been working out really well. And a little bit of physical nature, as you mentioned, in the first half that you knew we were going to see. So Rough Riders still keeping the pressure on down here. That's an example of not moving and you're going to get the pass taken away. But Titans work the far side, and hopefully the Rough Riders can break this up with a little bit of pressure on and off the ball. And you know, you're looking what I'm looking at here. What do you see off the ball? Risky, and a seal over the end line for a goal kick.
Very dangerous opportunity. OG, quick counter attack. That is about as fast as they've countered all game. That ball to that backside. Riders got to be careful. She was open, slightly better ball, and that's an easy goal.
It was a lot of speed we saw. We got beat on the corner, and it just takes one. Don't know how many times we have to say it just takes one. Boy, Burt had a good shot there, good shot at just pushing that ball through, staying on sides. And we got a throw-in coming up for Weigel on the near side to the feet of Menker. And Menker's working, sees Weigel, making the decision not to go there and moves it back to the inside of the field, turns the player, centers it up. And let's see what happens here. The foot of Burt now. We talked about the freshman working hard, physical nature to keep that ball, and a possible shot on. With a deflection.
Here we go again.
OG
on this
can
right
take
side.
over. Fortunately, they don't have a lot of numbers yet, but if they have time, they'll build. And Erford sends that ball to the outside, and we see the speed of OG's attack and the speed of the Riders' defense.
Let's go back to that play real quick, Lance. The outside back for the Riders is stepping up and picking up the striker for OG, which means she's out of position. She's not on her side. So we're finding space. OG is finding space on this outside because that striker is sucking that defender inside.
It's a bit of a mismatch that it creates. And you know, what would you say, right? The most dangerous thing is the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get the ball away. But if you leave a player open like that, you're giving the Titans 100% pass to go feet to feet, and it turns into a run like you just talked about.
Yep, exactly. We've seen her open twice now. Definitely an adjustment I hope to see Coach Wilson make. It's going to be interesting to see if they make any sort of adjustment or not. Not sure if they've noticed.
Titans kind of deflected that ball deep into their territory. Here's Erford. As expected, she's going to try to beat the player in the corner. Now, her job probably is to be in the middle. She finds herself on the outside and hopes somebody else will fill her position. I'm sure she's more dangerous setting up on the top of the arc, as you pointed out in the first half.
Yeah, OG playing much more defensive this half. You'll notice when they get the ball and go to attack, they always are keeping 6 players back here.
Yeah, it's a early sign of parking the bus on the back line when you don't need to. I think they're just counting on the fact that they can score goals.
There's a good opportunity for him.
Yeah, that ball was just kind of left there in the box, which you never want to see. So a couple subs coming in. Number 10 returned to the game for the Rough Riders. Walls coming back in. And number 29, Anderson. And I think return to the game for the Titans, number 13, Ellerbrock. And we'll have a goal kick taken by Hertenstein. We've seen a couple different looks on the goal kicks. You'd like to see it mixed up a little bit. Sometimes you have a back take it and the keeper's in the middle. Sometimes you have the keeper take it from the side and you got a back protecting the goal like what we just saw right there.
Now, sometimes when you see something work over and over and over again with Sophie Menker winning every single ball, you just keep going right back to it. She
just
can
keep doing it.
flick that on, dangerous ball for Burt to run onto.
Last touch here, I think, was off of OG, so we got a throw in on the near side coming up for the Rough Riders. Not a great spot for a throw in, but we have been able to move the ball out of that deep territory with our last throw-ins in the first half. We'll see if we can do it again. And, of course, go to Menker because you know she's going to receive the pass.
Good check back from Burt. A layoff for Kendall. A nice through ball. I knew that was coming.
Davis with a great idea and gets it right back. OG makes a small mistake there by just kicking it.
Square ball through the middle is always dangerous.
That's almost the same as passing it backwards when a player's moving. Now, I think we just had an offsides call, which I don't remember very many of them in the first half. I think that was the first offsides call of the game. So a couple penalties, one offsides, a few corner kicks for both teams, but fairly even so far in this half. But I agree with you, Seth. The energy right now, the Rough Riders have got it. You can feel it. You can hear it from the fans in the stands, from the bench underneath us, and the Riders are taking advantage of that. So we get a kickoff off the offsides. Just goes out of bounds. The whole ball has to go over the line, and now OG gets a throw in on the near side. First touch to OG, and Walls is on the chase. And the Riders are backing down a little bit here, and a shot towards the net off of Erford. So she's working the outside now instead of being on the inside. So that's a different look for sure that the Titans want to try in the second half.
Yeah, Lance, did you notice where that offside was? On this right side, they were all by themselves, luckily offside. So
fortunately,
again, this right side is very dangerous. The Jacobs keeps pinching into Erford there, constantly doing the same thing, and so that leaves this outside wing, outside mid, whatever they're calling it for their team, leaving her to pick up that man. And so when she goes up and gets involved in the offense, as soon as OG wins the ball, they're looking for this right side, and that's where the Riders are getting caught.
And they've got a quick move with some space there. That last call was a handling call, so we had a kickoff by the Riders. There was a little bit of pinball going on there as the ball bounced around and hit an OG lady's arm in an unnatural position. Walls is working the near side. She didn't have a lot of space there. A little more experience. As she gains that, she'll probably learn what do you do with two players on one, and you've only got a half a yard to the sidelines.
Yep, that's where it's key for your teammates to be working into space off the ball. You got to see those situations before they happen.
Talking to you.
Got to talk and let them know, because that freshman's definitely got her eyes down. She's not experienced enough. She's, this is high school speed. She's not there yet. She's definitely working at it. She's definitely having a good year, but it takes some time, and so her teammates need to help her out by talking.
Yeah, you have the nonverbals. Here's a good opportunity for OG. That ball got through because Erford sealed it off very nicely. That's a move you see Menker make a lot. Here comes Bird on the near side. Gets a quick takeaway. Just couldn't quite keep up to the ball that she led herself with.
There you go.
And then Menker with a takeaway can't quite keep it in bounds.
Had she kept that ball, a nice long ball, and Burt was ready to go. She was already moving. That's what I love to see from strikers. Movement before the ball is played. That gives them a clear advantage against the defense.
When you have to make the assumption that a player like Menker is going to win the ball, so start moving and then know that she's going to give that ball a leading pass before you get offsides.
Another ball to Menker. Real shocker there. See what kind of build-out the Riders can take. I'm glad they are mixing it up. It's never the same thing. It's not just one big ball over the top every time. Balls into space, into the corners, my favorite type of game right here, and that ball is in the river.
So that was a freshman to freshman move, and you just mentioned something about the player's eyes. Walls was right underneath us, and she was looking up at Burt the whole time that she was moving the ball and gaining experience, as we said in the first half, for these freshmen on the field against a team like this. The OG Titans, who are 34-0 in the WBL, or I'm sorry, 34 straight in the WBL. And you got freshmen on the field learning as they're also doing a good job. And there's a shot off the foot of the freshman Baker, a legitimate shot on goal to the save. And we had Liette coming right up on the keeper in case she mishandled it. So some pressure here. Completely different second half than what we had in the first half. If you're tuning in, you just have to trust us. This does not look like the first half Rough Riders. So they must have had quite an inspirational halftime speech, or whatever Coach Wilson said and his staff. It's working.
Yeah, great thing about being over here where we are on top of the dugout. We get to see, we get to hear, we get to eavesdrop a little bit. Don't tell. All right, but definitely heard some good things coming from coaches. All the coaches here, not just Coach Wilson. He's got a good squad here. Good to see them all getting involved and giving the girls some advice.
And it was not a it was I think what I heard, not listening, but what I heard a little bit was very positive.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
positive things to say. Make a few adjustments, take the energy up for sure, and we've seen them do everything that the coaches asked.
Yeah, as you mentioned before, the Riders don't really have much to lose here. OG on the other hand, they've got
Everything
a streak
to lose.
They've got the WBL title, which could be dangerous opportunity here.
Breakaway shot wide of the frame. And that was one of the first times that we've really seen a breakaway in the game so far. And we just got beat on the corner, but also no offsides. I was probably pretty close, but no offsides on that. Was that Herringhouse on the run there?
I think it's Herringhouse. She's definitely been the most dangerous attacker for them as their winger. She's got speed. And as I've mentioned before in broadcast, Lauren Jacobs, with her injury, doesn't have the same top speed as she used to.
As she typically would have.
Definitely a smart defender, but if she's in a one-on-one with somebody, it's going to be tough for her to keep up. And that ball was past her, so she had to play the chasing game, and she just doesn't have that extra gear anymore.
And Hertenstein really, made a good decision, but she could have come out on that one. Once you see your players beat on the corner, you do not want a one-on-one sitting back on the back line. She could have come out to meet the player, probably made a good decision not to, because had she done that, the experience of Herringhouse, she would have made one move and probably just dropped it into the net. So Hertenstein made a good instinctual decision, cannot yell that, can't coach it in the action, to stay back on the back line and see what happens, and it paid off on a wide shot.
Yeah, I try to yell at my goalies all the time. To come out, stay back. They never do what I ask them to do. Well, sometimes you just got to trust what they've been coached to do in practice, and hope they make the right decisions.
And let a little instinct take over, because if you have to yell at the goalie to help make that decision, it's probably too late. The other thing is it tells everybody else on the field what is going on. You've got to leave the goalie to make her decision. She made a very good one there. We got Weigel coming up on the near side. Working with, was that with Herringhouse on this side? Maybe we had the wrong player on the other side.
There must be 6 on the other side. The senior,
I'd say so.
Dueling.
Yeah, Dueling. Yeah, because Dueling was on the left side underneath us in the first half. So there's a center up, probably a pass, looking for the feet of Erford there, and Hertenstein comes out of the net, collects that up. Looked like fairly easily. A nice punt to a big header off of OG. That's a problem with a big punt. That's a 50-50 ball. You talked about that before, Seth. Who wants it most?
Yeah, without Manker there in the midfield to win those balls, Riders might want to do something different. OG player just went up and got it.
Yeah, probably want to have her, and I'm sure the coaches will ask for this adjustment, have Hertenstein do a throw the ball to a player maybe on a nice angle, or even punt it to the sidelines instead of in the middle without Manker there. That was a dangerous.
Yeah, Davis needs to find an outside or some feet of the Riders. If you don't know where to go outside. Up and out, up and to the outside.
Yeah, you're going to hear this. I mean, fortunately, you and I are on the mic tonight. Otherwise, we'd be in a stand screaming, "Not to the middle." The parents, the grandparents say, "Not in the middle."
Even the soccer parents and grandparents that don't know what they're talking about, they know. Don't give up that ball in the middle. If you're on defense, don't play it to the middle. I heard it at a rec game tonight. Several parents yelling that exact phrase. They do know that.
I love the way you said that. Somebody's first night of soccer ever, and they're out there yelling, "Not in the middle."
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was interesting to go over her shoulder on that one.
They're offside.
And the second offsides in the half against OG results in a kickoff for the Rough Riders. And put that ball up into there. Here's that 50-50 ball. Who wants it most? Still a 50-50 ball. Who wanted it most?
Opportunity here on the backside.
Davis wanted it most. See it. Couldn't quite get through a seam there. And Davis is on the run working the far side.
My favorite thing about that play, Davis gave up the ball, and Davis was the first one working back.
First one to get it back.
Backside open again. I'm telling you, Lance, if OG scores, it's either going to be their striker holding up the ball and scoring, or laying it off for a goal, or that backside run.
Yeah, Dueling, if I'm saying that right, 6 is just blowing past our backs on that far side. That's the second time we've seen it, this time in a lot less space. Doesn't take much space to get that ball off. What do you need, Seth? About a foot, ball width to get that thing off, a good foot? And in that case, we saw it. She probably had 4 yards of room.
Yeah, something to consider for Coach Wilson, with Jacobs getting beat out there a little bit. Again, great defender, but just doesn't have the speed to match with her. Maybe push one of your faster defenders. Maybe get Piper Triplett out of the middle. Maybe you shift her a little bit more to the right side than she's been playing right now, just so she can help Jacobs over there. Something to think about.
I think if we go up one, I think you're going to see that, because the most successful attack they've had has been the one we just talked about.
And their striker doesn't have the speed. Erford's a great player, but she doesn't have the speed, so she's not going to be the one in the middle to really run through.
Now here's the freshman Baker working the near side.
Got help over here if she can find it.
Coming up with a centering pass. OG wants nothing to do with it, so it makes a big clear out, something we actually haven't seen him do that much, but as long as you get it in the air, it's safe. That's that, not in the middle.
Love to see the opponent clear the ball. Just boot it out, because that means they're starting to panic. Just a little bit of panic gives you a little bit of inspiration.
Yeah, if they're up by 6 goals, that's a normal thing to do, right? No need to do anything. But in this case,
a little chicken wing. Like to see it, though. That's a play that I use every once in a while. Hopefully the ref doesn't catch it. I liked it from Halco, yeah. Ball's away from her, can't quite get to it. Just throw a little arm out there, see if you can keep possession.
Yeah, I'm sure she just got off balance there and used the other player to gain her balance. And it's just physics. It's just physics, Seth. Yeah, I like to see that physical play, and we expect it. And if this game continues like this, it's going to get more physical here as we wind into the second half of the game.
Backside, number 4, top of the box.
That's what we've been talking about. Centering pass, no offsides, and there Hertenstein can stop the pass, but she cannot stop the shot. So we're going to take a look at this on the replay. We'll just get a little help from our technical director here to get the replay going, and we'll talk a little bit about how that attack happened. And that was that outside in we've been talking about. So deep into the corner, and Hertenstein has to go center of the net, and backside, we just got to stay between the player and the net in that case. And even better, Seth, don't let that pass be made in the corner. You got to take the ball or take the player off her feet outside the box.
OG's been trying to do that all night, so it's not a surprise that they got a goal off of it. You like to see a little bit better positioning from the defense there. We talked about that in the first half. It's all about positioning. Those balls are hard to stop, so you got to really make sure you put yourself in the right spot to defend those. And the Riders didn't on that case.
So at about 22 and a half minutes left in the second half, OG strikes for the first time, 1-0 Lady Titans against the Lady Riders, but the Riders are not ready to give it up yet, and I can tell the energy is still up. On the sidelines here, we heard a lot of that's okay. Get one on the board, it'll make you feel better. And the Riders are still working the attack.
Need Turner to hold that ball for us.
Just a little bit longer.
Tried, but couldn't quite. OG's trying to run through her. She's got to be able to use her body to keep her away.
Great decision by Hertenstein. Ball's outside the box. She has plenty of space, no threat from an attack, so she boots that ball and gives a little souvenir. And now the Titans and Riders are working the far side of the field with a deflection off Titans and a throw-in for the Riders. Will keep possession. Of course, who are we going to? Our best receiver, the Randy Moss of the Lady Riders, to the sure feet of number 7, Menker, and she captures that pass again. Hopefully another throw-in for us. Looks like a throw-in for the Titans, and a little break in action as they send a sub in. So number 15, Bachrath, comes in for the Lady Titans. I'm not too concerned yet. We got time left. We got half of the half left, and the Riders have had a bit of an attack. Like to see some corners down here. Put some pressure on the Titan keeper, and either centering passes like we've seen from the Titans, or work some corners down on our end.
Yeah, you want to see the Riders be a little patient. We still got 20 minutes. They've had opportunities this half. They've had some chances. Be patient. Don't panic. Plenty of time. It's not even close to the end of the game here. So keep looking for those little advantages, those little opportunities that they've been able to find this half.
I think you mentioned it a moment ago that the Titans looked a little bit panicked, like that big ball they kicked out of the box was an uncontrolled, clear turnover out of bounds, and they'll probably settle in a little bit now. But one's never enough. One goal lead is never enough, especially in a game like this. And one is not too much for us to catch up. There's a nice mistake there that the Titans made for a throw-in coming up for the Riders, and returning to the lineup for the Riders. Ermshire back into the lineup, and also Anderson returning to the lineup. And we've got a throw-in coming up for the Riders, taken by the freshman Walls. And the clock will still run through this. We won't see clock stop until later in the game. We'll talk about that as it gets closer, when and why they would stop. Otherwise, typically it's a running clock outside of just a couple of examples, one being a goal, another one would be an injury. Riders mounting an attack up the middle now, and Turner and Burt coming in hot, and Titans don't want to have anything to do with it, so they send it out of bounds. That's a good move for the Titans, but the Riders had a nice run there, and they get to keep possession with a throw-in. Throw-in right to Burt. Not quite to her feet, but she still is able to take over and looking to possibly center that up.
Good.
Very nice centering pass.
Very sure hands from the OG keeper. No surprise, OG's got a strong keeper. They always do. One of their probably most athletic positions on the field. Definitely sure hands. I'm guessing the basketball player. It's unfortunate the Riders can't get some sort of rebound. That's usually a good way to get a goal this time in the game.
Yeah, she shows 28 saves in the 2024 season and 78 saves in the 2025 season. So certainly capable of handling a hot shot or a nice pass like that. And her decision on that one would be, if it's a pass, come out and get it, or leave it and defend the next backside shot.
Riders trying to build up a little bit there. Just can't quite find the right passes, the right touch on the ball. Definitely need to pick up the game a little bit here. Energy's still high, but you really want to try to get that goal back as quick as possible. Don't panic, but you do want to get that back quick. Otherwise, OG's going to feel like they have the momentum. Riders going to start getting desperate. You don't want to get to that point in the game.
Yeah, the good news, it's only one goal, so we're one away from tying it up.
Good energy from Burt there. Hopefully that electrifies everybody. We've been mentioning that the last couple times we've seen her. Hopefully a quick break for her here.
Yeah, she made the Titans make a mistake on that one by putting pressure on the ball. Davis checks back into the game, throwing from Walls on the near side to the sure feet of Menker. Got a little push in the back and force that ball out of bounds. That was a good move on the Titans player to put some...
Talk about that pressure all the time. You don't have to win the ball. I try to tell my young players that all the time. You don't need to win the ball. Just put some pressure on them. Don't let them turn.
Don't make a mistake.
Same thing just right there again.
Yeah, it was a nice throw in and a little bit of pressure on the Titans receiver there, and the ball goes out of bounds, and Riders have got it on the near side with a nice drop and then a centering pass. The idea was to get that centering pass to Menker, maybe take a touch there if you have time.
Good hustle back by Walls, but unfortunately another turnover. Good step by Jacobs. Let's see if we can build something here. We do have some numbers, 3v3 here if we can get the ball, but all right, we got it back.
Still keeping it in. And that was McKinley who was coming up with the ball for the Riders. We hadn't mentioned that she had entered the game there, number 41.
Piper's making a look a good run here. You know she's got the speed. You know she's going to run through anything in her way.
That was just a double shot there. Could have gone either way. The referee's a good 30, 40 yards away. We saw what happened there, and somehow he did as well. Riders take it right back. Foot of Walls looking for an opening. You'd probably like to see a nice cross of the field there to open it up a little bit.
Yeah, the backside's we've got numbers on that backside. A good switch to Anderson would be a good play. Like to see a winger get up there a little higher. But again, we're nervous with that winger of OG, so we're a little bit reluctant to push up.
Yeah, we probably don't want to stack the front here quite yet, because there's a lot of time left and you don't want to go down by 2 goals if you can help it. OG's working deep into Rough Rider territory, and Riders back clears that out. Now we got a throw-in coming up for the Titans and also a sub. No surprise, Erford's back on the field, and probably, I don't know if she's there to stay, but probably going to be pretty stingy on subbing her out for the next 16 minutes.
Yeah, I imagine she's a good leader out there, senior captain. Probably going to be pretty big for them and holding up play here as the defense just tries to hold St. Mary's at bay. She's going to need to hold the ball for OG. Love to see the hustle from Davis there. Didn't quite get to it.
Yeah, that ball was really close to staying right on the line. We've talked about the size of this field. It's in great condition. It has a really nice crown to it. Many of the fields that the ladies play on, you could never make a pass like that. Would have been out by 10 yards. That one danced right on the line, and Davis almost picked that up. Boy, nice little move by Menker, wrapping her foot around the player. We got a clock stop. And it's for a sub. I'm not sure why at this point in the game. that there be a clock stop, but there was.
One thing, the referee does have the discretion. If he feels that a team is purposely wasting time, maybe they're subbing every minute, he does have the right to stop the game at any time.
Even with this much time left in the game. I didn't feel like that was happening because you'd hear a groan from the bench and the crowd, but whatever it was, it could have been a player injury that he asked for the clock to be stopped. Coming up on 14 minutes left here in the second half at beautiful Rough Rider Field. And I got to thank our excellent crew that we've got here again tonight. We got Carter Fisher on the camera, Rhett Chisholm on the camera as well. Our technical directors, Howie Spencer and Logan Yelton, are here doing a great job. And the Riders are working up the middle here a little bit. Nice shot, just wide of the frame, but a dangerous shot for OG because unexpected when you got 2 or 3 defenders and you're shoulder to shoulder, and Turner squeaks one out of there and puts one just right of the frame.
Waiting to see when the Riders decide it's time to kick it in gear, start to send numbers up. Notice on that play there's 3 or 4 Rough Riders in the middle of the field. All the OG players were in the middle of the field. Nobody using the wings, nobody in that space. I'd love to see the Riders push somebody into those gaps, try to get a chance. Maybe a little too early for Coach Wilson to do that, but hopefully in the back of his mind, something to use later if he needs it.
He may not be ready to give up any space in the back here and go down by 2, but losing 1-0 doesn't help you. So get up there and figure out a way to put it on frame a couple of times, see what happens.
I always tell my teams, losing 2 or 3-0, not much different than losing 1-0. Let's go for it. Let's try to tie the game up, see what can happen. Another good ball in.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea, though. That's what we saw OG doing more in the first half than the second half, is a bit of a pop over the backs and make the keeper make a decision. Snatch it out of the air or try to get it off the ground. In the meantime, Davis is coming full speed. No chance of an offsides there after the hit, and could be right in the keeper's pocket. That one just happened to go over the frame.
Yeah, I like seeing Davis up there at the top. She's got the energy. She's got the speed. She's going to make things interesting. She's definitely going to make OG a little tense back there. She's not going to make anything easy for him.
This ball dancing on the near side. Rough Riders keep control of it.
Dangerous opportunity. Riders are just trying to put balls in the box, create chaos. They've seen OG do it. They want to do it as well.
Yeah, it's almost a high corner, and now we end up with a throw-in on the near side. Weigel with the throw-in to the feet of Davis. She centers it up. Triplets coming up to meet the ball. Ermshire came up to meet that ball. And now hopefully we keep possession of this. Sure do. Turner's working the far side now. And let's see if she gets that help that we've been talking about to maybe
Ermshire
turn
at
it.
the top, Menker at the top. Love to see them combine. Can't quite get to the ball, though.
That was that creativity you were talking about. Here's possible chaos if somebody can get a hand on. That was what you were talking about a moment ago, Seth, and Turner made a good decision. The straight power didn't work. She turned the ball back and had some players there to drop it to and kept a good attack and turned into a possible
And we saw some very
goal.
good defending from OG there. As the keeper came out, the OG defender used her body, a little bit of obstruction, or as our buddy Mike Wilson likes to say, impeding, as they call it here in the high school. Shout out, Mike. But didn't quite do enough to cause a foul, but definitely kept Davis from getting to the ball.
OG gets a nice leading ball there, but fortunately for us, we had Jacobs back there, and OG did not have their fastest attacker up like they had done in the last few minutes. Something you talked about earlier, Seth, was how much time you have to get the ball back when you lose it. And there was a great example earlier where Burt wasn't having it. She lost the ball. And what do you tell your players? 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 7 seconds, you got to get the ball back.
Yeah, mostly it's just the mentality of win the ball back right away. I don't necessarily give my players a certain time. I've definitely said it before in the past, but it's more of, hey, we lose the ball, got to win it back immediately before the offense gets set up.
Well, you can't score goals if you don't have possession of the ball. So when you've got the ball, everybody's on the attack. When they have the ball, everybody's on defense. Doesn't matter what your position is.
Yep. Anytime we talk about mistakes on defense, I always make sure I tell my players the team defense let down there. The team did not do their job on defense.
Yeah, not a particular defender.
Every single player has a duty, has a job, and it starts at the top. Good, dangerous ball in there from Menker.
Great foot skills to create that opportunity. She wraps it around some players. Back to Menker in the box. Can't quite keep her feet on that one.
Like to see a ball.
That's a nice 50-50 ball that OG let let go, and Baker centers it up to Burt.
Backside,
got an
50-50.
opportunity. Oh, and the keeper comes out. Okay, that's the keeper that we hadn't seen yet tonight, Seth, because we hadn't had to see it yet
That's why she is there. That's why she has all those saves. Another dangerous ball in, but the keeper says, no, not on my watch. That is an excellent job by the goalkeeper there. Riders are feeling it. They're feeling it right now. I hope they keep pushing. I hope they keep the momentum going here. They have had control this last several minutes. Let's hope we can continue.
That was the hard work of Manker, and then you got a couple of freshmen working there in the middle of the field. You had Burt and Baker working really hard, and boy, we got to see something there that we hadn't seen yet tonight because she hadn't had to do it. The keeper, Nice, with her 78 saves coming into this game, and now we can see why.
And no hesitation from her, and that's the key for a goalkeeper. I think you mentioned it earlier. You can't hesitate. If you do, you're probably going to be a step behind. If she hesitates, that's a goal. Riders score.
Yeah,
but
there's no way the coach can say that. The coach is 80 yards away. No way he can make the decision for her. She can make the decision
by Baker.
for her.
Love to see these freshmen up here combining with Manker.
Look at the trust.
I want to see the Riders push. We've got people back here. I'd love to see them push. Baker, a little bit of inexperience there. She needs to hold that ball.
Just a little bit longer.
Yep.
And it's always a tough decision. If you're running the play and you know what you're doing, Baker can take that ball all the way to the end line and actually bring it backwards a little bit, not too far, 3 or 4 yards, and a rider coming in, never offsides, coming into the PK dot.
Yep, it's time for the Riders to stop playing safe here on that last play. We had a couple midfielders hold back. Got to get them pushed up, got to get them involved. There's no reason for the 1-0 loss. Let's get a goal. Let's tie this thing up.
Yeah, it is hard to catch you off the ball action when you're watching. Of course, when you're watching on the screen, you're catching what you can on the cameras, and our camera crew does a great job. But Seth, you pointed something out on the last attack. Our mids were still back at the midline, and our mids were just past the midline. Our backs were on the midline, and I know what you're asking for there. When Baker had that ball down deep, bring the house.
Yep.
And don't let it out of the box. Keep the pressure on.
Yeah, and that's why it's important for her to hold that ball, let her teammates get up a little bit more, and really try to put a mess into the area.
Titans working the far side here. And we had another offsides call just past the midline. There is no offsides on your side of the field, but just as soon as you get across that midfield line, you got an offsides, and we got an indirect kick coming up for the Rough Riders. Just under 7 minutes left in the second half, and the Rough Riders work in the middle of the field, of course, to the quarterback there, Menker, work in the middle of the field. Great job keeping that ball in play, and Ermshire working the ball to the outside, and Titans make a good but rare mistake that turns into a throw-in for the Rough Riders. Immediately like to see him spread the field here a little bit more to give us more chances. Manker's got, of course, 2 players on her, which means somebody's got to be open. And we get that ball to the outside.
And you'll notice, even when she has 2, it's not enough. She always keeps the ball, or at least 9 times out of 10 is going to keep that ball. She's working her butt off right now. You can tell she's tired, but she's going to battle through. She's going to try to help the Riders get one more, or a couple more opportunities and see if they can get 1 goal.
2 might be enough to keep her from taking a shot, but 2 is not enough to take the ball away. And OG really is probably making that smart decision right now. Keep 2 on her. She won't get the shot. Now we got another throw in, and we've got a lot of energy, a lot of noise here at the field, a lot of communication on the field. The ladies are feeling it. I think OG's still feeling a little bit of pressure because we are 1 goal away from tying this up. See that tough bounce you were just talking about? Everything but grass back there by this time of the year, but into the sure hands of Nice, who can handle that.
Great technique from their goalkeeper. No way, no how is that ball getting past her. No accidental weird bounces. She's got those safe hands, as you mentioned.
She's not going to make a mistake. You think about a shortstop, feet wide and hands down. You're not going to do that. She did not do that. She had her body together and gathered that ball up with no chance of it getting around her. Hertenstein with a nice punt to the middle of the field. There's that 50-50 ball. Here's another 50-50 ball, but Ermshire wanted that a little bit more, and here comes Manker on the far side, making a little bit of move, looking for some space. That's really not where we want Manker to be, but she's got the sure feet to keep possession of the ball.
Yeah, the Riders just need to find Manker's feet and let her go to work. Got to get some more numbers up. I'm still waiting for at least one more, probably pull a defender, pull one of our center backs up. or send one of our outside backs up. No reason to have all of us back there.
Well, and at this point of the game, with under 5 minutes left, I don't think we're going to see OG with any less than 7 players on this half of the field. I'd be shocked if we see less than that.
Yeah, even their wingers that have been staying up most of the game are starting to come back.
And we're really only seeing 2 up front there. So quick sub for the Rough Riders with the throwing coming up. Anderson returns to the game, and a little bit of fresh legs there that Coach Wilson wants out on the field. And this ball will just go out on the far side, and we've got another throw in for the Rough Riders. So good possession right here. We know we had one of our best shots on goal was 1 second left in the first half. Let's see if we can get one just like that with that kind of energy outside in attack in that case. Let's see if we can get another one here in less than 5 minutes and maybe go for another one after that.
Yeah, it won't feel like it to the Riders, but 5 minutes is still a long time. Still can create a couple of chances here.
Absolutely.
Just don't want to panic too much. They definitely need to push. Definitely need to take chances, capitalize on opportunities, but don't try not to panic too much.
Yeah, now we're starting to see more of a stack down here, Seth. We've got every player except for the keeper across the midline. That's what we want to see. What we want to see. So we got, and both teams are down here, of course, but we got 21 players down on this side of the field. And here's a possible centering pass. Ermshire looking to pick this up, a bit of a 50-50 ball. Hereford not having it, puts it over the midfield line. And now the Riders, no panic, as you said, 3 minutes. You can move the ball easily in that amount of time.
Great ball by Jacobs, good run by Anderson, good combination there. OG is smartly just playing long balls. They're not messing around. They just want it out of their end. They want to push up. If I'm OG, I'm going to have one speedy player up there right in the middle, and they're just going to run for the next 5 minutes, try to get any of those balls that they play long. But they are keeping their speed on the wing.
That was a great move by Triplett. In a lot of cases in this part of the game, she might just punt that ball, but she didn't. She kept it in control. And here goes that tough player on the far side of the field. I think that was dueling again.
Good one-on-one defense from Jacobs there. As we mentioned before, she doesn't quite have the speed, but she is a great defender. So she is able to slow down the OG player there and make her take a pretty weak shot.
And for OG, a bad shot's any shot's a good shot right now, but that one had zero chance of going in, so that was great defense.
Yeah, that's one of those, if it's my team, I'm coaching that OG player to hold the ball as long as possible, not take a shot, because that means it's a turnover, and that means the ball's going to be coming back the other way. Same here with that play. No reason to shoot that. Take that ball to the corner.
You're basically giving a turnover. So we have just hit 2 minutes here in the second half at Rough Rider Field. And Hertenstein with a nice boot to midfield. Course looking for the feet of Menker. Guess who ends up with it? Menker ends up with it. And the Riders have got under 2 minutes here to try to tie this game up.
Unfortunate there. This is something I've just noticed on that last play where you just mentioned 2 minutes. Hertenstein punted the ball up, and the defense is a little slow to get out. I think they're gassed here, Lance. I think the conditioning's catching up with them. And it's not because they're out of shape. It's because they've been working their butts off chasing these OG girls around.
Absolutely. I mean, everything on paper coming into this game tells you are outmatched. The scoreboard's not showing that right now. And why are you doing that? Energy and heart. Absolutely. They're giving everything they can. They've given 79 minutes now of the best that they can give. However this game ends up, I hope it ends up 1-1 or maybe we squeeze 2 in. But 0-1 against a team that has done what we've talked about earlier with the stats, that's a pretty good game, Coach. Yeah,
definitely something that they're going to be able to build off of if they don't get the result they want here. Always say that, if a team's better than you, the way to compete with them is to outwork them. Try to outsmart them, but definitely outwork them, and you can always hang in there, and that's what the Riders have done tonight. Hope to see a good push here. Oh, that's a pass back. Yep, that's unfortunate here. That's a yellow card as well. Unfortunate events here for the Riders. Something to learn from for the girls. Piper Triplett made a pass to Bella, and Bella picked it up. Miscommunication, basically. As the yellow card comes in, the goalkeeper has to come off the field. So they do have to prepare another goalkeeper here.
So the clock is stopped, and Seth, I don't know if we have a replay of that, but tell me again what happened. What did the keeper do that is causing the yellow card?
Yeah, so it looked like a miscommunication between Piper and Bella. I think Bella just wanted to be able to pick up the ball herself. Piper passed it to her, so Bella should have just played it with her feet, but she picked it up. Just one of those little brain farts that happens. And so because she picked it up, that's called a pass back. That'll be an indirect kick. It will be in the box, so you might think, no, a PK, but no, that's not the case. It is an indirect kick from where she picked it up.
And what's the play here? Fire it as hard as you can, because if it goes off of somebody, indirect can go into the back of the net.
If I'm OG, if I see an advantage for a shot, absolutely. Or you notice the white player in the corner, her teammate.
Turn it into a corner?
No, play it to her and let her hold the ball in the corner and try to kill as much time.
Try to burn clock. Or just bring it back to the field. I mean, 41 seconds is a long time to play keep away.
Yeah.
They might just, Erford might just take a shot
corner,
on that here.
like I said, yep.
Maybe it does turn it into a corner.
That works.
Fortunately, there's not a lot of players down there for OG. And, we'll talk about that after the game, about what happened there. The Riders have time here. They still have time. You've seen how quickly you can mount an attack. They got under 20 seconds now and have possession of the ball. Don't make any mistakes. Don't leave in the middle, but there is time for a quick run.
Get those defenders up. No reason to hold back defense now. Let's get up. Let's send everybody. See if we can get one thing. Doesn't look like it's going to happen tonight.
And that is time expired. 80 minutes of action here at Rough Rider Field, where the OG Titans come out on top. They came into this game with a 34 straight WBL wins. This makes it number 35. But last time OG played St. Mary's, they beat us 5-1. And what happened tonight? It was 1-0 in a game that the Rough Riders really had control of the ball for much of the game. We'll talk a little bit about what happened in the end there. But Seth, we got to recap here a little bit about what happened in this game and the energy we saw in the second half to hold off probably one of the better teams Rough Riders are going to see.
Yeah, this Coach Wilson's smart coach. He's going to use this as a momentum builder, even though it's a loss. WBL title probably out of reach. You never know, but now Coach Wilson, I would suggest, thinking about building for the playoffs. He clearly has a team that can do some damage in the playoffs. If you can take OG all the way, only lose 1-0, very tight game. Definitely a chance for them to do some damage in the playoffs. So if I'm Coach Wilson, I'm using this as momentum. I'm making sure the girls see this as a positive, even though it's a loss.
I think we said before the game was over, unless it's a blowout, if you happen to tie it, that's a huge accomplishment. But losing 0-1 to a team at the level of OG, and I'll take it maybe the other way. If you play a very soft team early in the week and it doesn't really build anything, it doesn't get you anywhere, you may have a soft week. Now this Thursday, the Rough Rider ladies are going to host Liberty Center. After what happened tonight, I feel bad for Liberty Center because these Lady Riders, they learned a lot tonight, and we have to talk about the play of the freshmen. We had 3 of them on there at one time, right? We had Walls, we had Baker, and we had Bird out there. They weren't filling space and filling time. They were out there making a difference in this game, and what a great way for them to get some experience and also give your experienced players, your senior players, a little bit of a break.
Yeah, and you saw our most dangerous attacks coming when those 3, or at least 2 of those, were on the field. Something that the Riders can definitely use. We mentioned earlier, inspire the upperclassmen that maybe are sitting on the bench, that are maybe only getting a few minutes here and there. Inspire them to do better. They can look at it as, hey, I lost my spot, I'm not playing, and have a negative impact on them, or they can look at it and help them, really motivate themselves. It's up to the seniors and it's up to the coaching staff to make sure everything after this goes in the positive direction. You really count on your leaders, because coaches are going to try to keep it positive. You know that's going to happen. But what are their players going to be talking about? What are they going to talk about at home? What are their text messages going to say to each other? What are they going to say to each other at school? Is it going to be positive? Hey, we held OG. We really competed in that game. Let's go. Thursday night, let's kick some butt. Let's get back in gear, and let's show these girls, let's show these teams that we're about to play, we mean business. Right now they're building for the playoffs. Like I said, WBO title's probably out of hands, so now it's all prep for the playoffs. Every game should have that mentality. And
do you have to win the WBL title to have a great postseason?
Exactly.
Absolutely not, right? But you can build off the momentum.
That's the cool thing about high school sports. League titles matter in high school sports. College sports, most teams don't really care about those division titles, conference titles. But, high school sports, that stuff matters. And then you get a whole nother season. It's 2 seasons. You get the regular season, and then you get the playoffs. So you can not win a single game all season, and then you can do some damage in the playoffs. That's why it's so fun. That's why I love high school sports, especially soccer.
Yeah, and I think we're going to hear very positive reinforcement from the coaching staff tonight to the Lady Riders. I think they should be very proud of their accomplishments tonight. There's many, many parts of a soccer game. One part of it is a score on the scoreboard. We know that's very important, but all of the little wins, all of the little things they did, the verbal and nonverbal communication, the trust from the upperclassmen to the freshmen,
yes.
I think Coach Wilson and the Lady Riders are going to build on that. So we will be signing off here in just a moment from beautiful Rough Rider Field. Lance Ibrahim alongside of Seth Hertenstein. We had 80 minutes of excellent action here where the Lady Riders hosted the OG Titans. Unfortunately, they came up on the downside of that, but I think we all agree that they're going to build on that. And you'll catch the next action. Rider Nation Station will be broadcasting live here from Rough Rider Field this Thursday, where the Lady Riders will host Liberty Center. There'll be a JV game, and then Rider Nation Station will broadcast about 7 p.m. as a game start on Thursday night. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight on our broadcast at Rider Nation Station. Have a great night. We'll see you all soon. Riders out.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.